Slide Lake. We just kind of got some information from a guy at the visitor center that this is a cool place to bring your dogs and hang out, and it's very peaceful here in Wyoming. We're in a national forest, so your options are limited here as far as where dogs can and cannot go, and especially in the national park area. The national park, you're out of luck with dogs. Lower Slide Lake in Wyoming, just outside of Grand Teton National Park. We had a really nice boondocking spot at the Tetons. It was absolutely free, and it was on Bureau of Land Management land again. We were within close proximity to Jackson Hole and also to Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone National Park is massive. Driving into it each day and then trying to see all the sights in there is pretty much impossible if you're not based within the park. I would strongly suggest getting a campsite or accommodations within the park if you want to explore all that it has to offer. The main attraction, of course, are the geysers. This portion of the park was extremely crowded, as was expected. They have a nice boardwalk where you can walk and take in some of the other sights that are there. On this day, we were lucky enough to witness 2 eruptions, one at a smaller geyser and then, of course, at Old Faithful itself.
Awesome. That's a sea one.
Pretty cool.
Wow.
Well, there's Old Faithful finally going. We were waiting here for a while. It's right on time, as always. Old Faithful erupts about 20 times a day. So generally, this amounts to roughly 1 eruption every hour and a half or so. On the day that we went, we missed the prior eruption, so we had to sit around and wait for about an hour and a half for the next one. We did bring the dogs with us, so that was a concern. The dogs are not allowed on the boardwalk area at all. This is primarily due to people bringing their dogs in the past, and unfortunately several dogs have perished jumping into the hot boiling waters. The water temperature can reach up to 244 degrees Fahrenheit. However, you can take your dogs and bring them to the viewing area just off the boardwalk right by Old Faithful. As you can see, Yellowstone can get pretty crowded. So if you want those good pictures without any people in them, then make sure you grab a seat up at the front and arrive plenty early to catch the eruption. The amount of wildlife that we saw in and around the area of Yellowstone was absolutely amazing.
I'm walking down the road.
Between the bison and the grizzly bears, we also had numerous insects, one of which being the buffalo fly. Although they didn't bother our larger dog, they definitely bit up Nugget. We actually had to make several trips through Yellowstone to drive to Bozeman, Montana to a veterinarian clinic in that area. There were absolutely no veterinary clinics in Jackson Hole or anywhere else in the general area that we could go to. Driving through Yellowstone in the evening after heading to Bozeman for the day, taking the Nug to the vet for an emergency. But it's beautiful out here. Nugget would pass out without warning. This required us to pack up early and head to Casper, Wyoming, where there is more advanced veterinary care.